Chapter 1. Ask in Faith. In 1815, the Indonesian island of Chapter 1. Ask in Faith. In 1815, the Indonesian island of Sumbawa was lush and green with recent rain. Families were preparing for the dry season ahead, as they had every year for generations, cultivating rice paddies in the shadow of a volcano called Tambora. On April 5th, after decades of slumber, the mountain roared awake, coughing up ash and fire. Hundreds of miles away, witnesses heard what sounded like cannon fire. Small eruptions continued for days. Then, on the evening of April 10th, the whole mountain exploded. 3 fiery plumes shot skyward, merging into one massive blast. Liquid fire flowed down the mountainside, enveloping the village at its base. Whirlwinds raged through the region, pulling up trees and sweeping away homes. The chaos continued all that night and into the next. Ash blanketed miles of land and sea, piling 2 feet high in places. Midday felt like midnight. Rough seas heaved over shorelines, spoiling crops and drowning villages. For weeks, Tambora rained cinders, stone, and fire. Over the next few months, the blast's effects rippled across the globe. Spectacular sunsets awed people around the world, but the vibrant colors masked the deadly effects of the volcano's ash as it circled the earth. In the coming year, the weather turned unpredictable and devastating. The eruption caused temperatures in India to drop, and cholera killed thousands, destroying families. In fertile Chinese valleys, summer snowstorms replaced a normally mild climate, and flooding rains destroyed crops. In Europe, food supplies dwindled, leading to starvation and panic. Everywhere, people sought explanations for the suffering and death the strange weather caused. Prayers and chants from holy men echoed through Hindu temples in India. Chinese poets grappled with questions of pain and loss. In France and Britain, citizens fell to their knees, fearful the terrible calamities foretold in the Bible were upon them. In North America, ministers preached that God was punishing wayward Christians, and they sounded warnings to stoke religious feelings. Across the land, people flocked to churches and revival meetings, anxious to know how they could be saved from the coming destruction. The eruption of Tambora affected weather in North America through the following year. Spring gave way to snowfall and killing frosts, and 1816 passed into memory as the year without a summer. In Vermont, in the northeast corner of the United States, rocky hills had frustrated a farmer named Joseph Smith Sr. for years. But that season, as he and his wife Lucy Mack Smith watched their crops shrivel under the relentless frosts, they knew they faced financial ruin and an uncertain future if they stayed where they were. At 45, Joseph Sr. was no